Engage.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Winners Don't Use Drugs, presented by Engage Gaming, episode 87. I'm Darius here with Nolan. What percentage?
Still 80.
Still 80? Hey, man. People's happy to hear 80. Yeah. Zach's in the building. And
passing grade.
He's got the cool background and all that. He's faded in, you know.
What?
When you transitioned to your background last episode, you had like the Street Fighter background. I was a little jelly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See? Yeah,
I did see
we got to put up artwork, but the frames didn't match, so don't worry about it. Well, we got a lot of stuff going on, man.
A lot.
Summer Game Fest hit hard and heavy, and a lot of stuff. The PlayStation sampler was definitely a teaser of all the things to come. Mm-hmm. We're not even like, this is the start of the first full week, right?
Yeah, pretty much by the end of this week, all the major stuff will be done, and then we'll get some stuff interspersed for the next month and a half, 2 months really.
Yeah.
Because it ends with Gamescom.
When is Gamescom?
August 20-something. It's like
when is Evo?
Like almost a week long. Evo is beginning of August.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to, it's heavy time, man.
Yep.
I love it. I love this time. But like summer used to be the drought for games. Mm-hmm. Like before, like even before we had E3, where it was just like what do we got coming? You look at the magazine and it's like you get cover articles for all those games, but they weren't coming out yet.
Oh no.
Yeah. But now it's like
this has been the craziest summer already, and it's technically not even summer yet.
Yeah. I mean, the kids is out this summer. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I thought about it. Like, 2-3 of the biggest games of the year already came out right before all of this. So
yeah, Diablo, Street Fighter, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
still got Final Fantasy, which
Final Fantasy. What's that, next week?
Yeah.
Is it next week?
It is next week. Yeah.
Or is it this week?
No, it's next week.
It's
the 29th.
Yeah.
20, okay.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks.
We got the next. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't think it was next week.
I knew it was at the end of the month. I didn't know I couldn't remember if it was like the last week of the month or the week. Week
I remember it was in June because for the longest time I thought it was in August for some reason. And it was like, it's in June.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is. It's the 22nd. I thought it was the 29th.
Listen. If you would have said if it would have said the 29th, I would have believed you because I just knew it was
like
at the
the
end.
16th for some reason for a while.
I wanted it to be.
It's next Thursday. That's a weird day.
Not really.
Is it Thursday?
It's normally Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah.
Well, but
it's Friday in Japan.
These days, who cares? Just put it out. Whatever.
You know what?
Want.
I really don't understand release dates anymore. Like, because it really doesn't matter.
I mean, you still got to deal with retailers, but I mean, you're really only dealing with Walmart, Best Buy, Target, and GameStop.
Yeah,
if GameStop counts.
They might not be counting too much longer. I know.
Yeah, from what I've heard.
I don't know if you've been seeing the articles, but they back in the red.
It's kind of rough.
All of that meme stock stuff is dead.
But yeah, shoot.
It's the only reason they lasted an extra 3 years.
It's crazy how dumb that works.
Me and Noah were talking about that Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's so dumb how they lasted just extra amounts of, because bro, they were literally like on the cusp.
Yeah, they were right there at the edge of the, things might be shutting down because they had just shut down like a few hundred stores or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like things are looking kind of bad. And then some memes hit and next thing you know. Like
everybody was getting nervous during COVID and they was like, I don't know, guys. Things looking pretty good over here for some reason. You know.
Them and AMC.
Oh, my goodness. I made a little quick clip off AMC, though. I appreciate that one, boys. But, yeah. The release date thing is kind of crazy. Now I will say that before we get into like watching all of the different trailers, the one thing that I was a little upset about is I didn't feel like, at least from looking at from what we saw with PlayStation and then going into Microsoft, is like it's a lot of 2020 early 2024 stuff, which is
dude, all of Microsoft's press conference was 2024. I was so annoyed.
Yeah,
like bro, they gonna give us Starfield. They like, look, we ain't got nothing else for you for a little while.
I mean,
Starfield and Forza.
Forza, and I think there was one more thing that was coming out this year, but everything else was.
Well, it's flight simulator stuff getting added to it and stuff like that.
Yeah, they showed 2024. They showed Flight Sim 2024, and then
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, it's a new.
But then they added but then they also showed the Dune like mod for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was for 23.
Yeah.
See, that's why I was confused. I thought it was all they were showing stuff that was going to be in 2023. I didn't realize it was just that part was just that for the
yeah,
current.
just that part was for the current.
Oh,
yeah, everything else was a brand new game.
All the missions and stuff like that. That's 2020.
That was all 24.
Okay.
Yeah. Which actually kind of looked cool.
Hey man, Steven was saying that he was like, "Hey, I kind of want to like try that out. It seems cool to be, doing like drop offs and like air construction and all of this."
A lot of the jobs seemed like the exact same job, just slightly different. Or one was for civilians and one was for the military. It was like, but isn't that the same? Okay.
It's more than what they've had in the past.
Literally, you were just going from airport to airport.
True.
The eligible airports that they had, not even every airport. So I mean, it seemed like it's getting more and more stuff to go to it, which I think, flight sim stuff is like they have their audience and that audience is there and they not going nowhere.
I've always wanted to try one of those games out, and I own 2 of them, and I never played it.
You want to try it out with like the controls, or did you want to just
something cool to use my flight sticks with, and
you already got flight sticks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just never use them. Last time I used them was with that Star Wars
Squadron.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to use it with that?
I did use it with that.
That's right. It was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Freaking amazing. It was so good.
Young Nolan is having so much fun.
Oh man,
I'm in the TIE fighter.
No, seriously, I'm like,
hey, no, I listen. In a time where I feel like it's harder than ever to get as enthusiastic about things, to hear people like playing games and really enjoying it, like, bro, that always makes me happy.
The part in the beginning of the game, the first time you fly an X-wing and you have to boost underneath the Star Destroyer to escape the gunfire to try to get where all the fighting is.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I hit that thruster up and that everything started going by real fast and the laser bolts are missing you. It was like best thing ever. I was like, I love this game. I love this freaking game.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I did the tutorial mission, like the one you're talking about, and then I did a couple missions after that. It was fun. I was never like Star Fox was my space like shooter game.
Oh, Star Fox is good.
Yeah.
Well, Star Fox 64 is good. Star Fox 1 and 64 are good. And then the rest of them range from.
Why y'all do that?
Why
y'all do that?
They range from good in spots to why y'all do that.
Got some ups and downs with that.
Star
franchise.
Fox Assault, which was made by the Ace Combat crew, had some of the best flight mechanics in there, but then Namco decided they wanted to do some on-foot missions for some reason.
Well, all right, so the problem with Star Fox is Nintendo has made it a point to try to get him over outside of the vehicle.
Stop. I know you're trying to add more gameplay to it, but who asked for that? Who asked?
Kirby had to turn the yarn. Okay, so if Kirby has to turn the yarn, he got to at least get out the ship.
He need legs.
We got to see the metal legs. Otherwise, what's the point of having him cut off his own appendages?
Play Smash.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, they are because everybody who gets a Switch gets smashed, but it's not the point. But anyway, this is a fantastic time. We got a lot of new games being announced and some returning old ones, and Capcom still don't want to give me Onimusha, but they want to put.
I was like, Oni. Oh,
next week. No. We gonna let Capcom do their because they do their presentation after we record this.
Yeah.
So
this afternoon.
So we gonna wait till next week to give our full verdict on Capcom, right? Okay. Just because you made Street Fighter 6 don't mean you off the hook yet.
Yeah. Oh, not to mention the other thing that they announced. The Xbox, was it the Xbox thing too?
Yeah, it's in here
with the skins. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, I didn't put that in there.
Okay.
Well, we'll just say it before we get into it. They announced that Exo Primal will have Street Fighter 6 characters in the game as mechs. I don't know if they're just skins or if they're.
I mean, it's basically their character models, but as
they're robots.
It was the robots. Yeah, so there was a Guile and there was a Ryu one,
which isn't the first time they put Street Fighter characters in other games.
No, not at all. It was
Ryu, Sakura, and Akuma were in Monster Hunter World, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And then they were also in the Ryu and Chun-Li was in the Power Rangers game.
Then, of course,
Fortnite.
Oh, yeah. Then, of course, Akuma was in Resident Evil 2, so. That was an April Fool's joke, like the most infamous April Fool's joke ever. Never mind.
I thought, what's the color was the worst one? Was the Shenlong.
I mean, that one kind of was, but the Akuma one was the one that forced every game magazine had to clearly label what was an April Fool's joke after that. Because people bought it hook, line, and sinker. We had folks telling us that they did it. We did everything that they told us we were supposed to do, and they still didn't open up.
Hold on. We will get started, I promise. But one of the dumbest things I used to hate back in the day was when something like that wasn't true and people would tell you they did it anyway.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's just like, come on, man. There's plenty of things you can lie about. Don't lie about this. This is not going. First of all, it's not going to make you look cooler to us. Okay, we're all talking about video games, so this is not the cool section of the school, sir. Okay, this is the wrong place. But
true.
All
right,
let's get into it. Ubisoft's thing is at a little bit later today, but they did already announce the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Yeah. We're going back to side-scrolling Prince of Persia, actually.
Which I was surprised by because they had just canceled or at least postponed the Sands of Time remake, which is why everybody was kind of shocked to see this.
Yes.
It's like, oh, well, no one even knew of this game's existence. So it was a nice surprise. And I know I'm happy to see it go back to like 2D. It was like when Metroid Prime 4 was nowhere to be found, and they were like, well, we don't have anything to say about this, but you might like this. And it's like, hell yeah, I'm going to like this. That's what I've been asking for.
Well, I've always been upset at Ubisoft's the way they've treated the Prince of Persia franchise once Assassin's Creed started popping off. Mm-hmm. Like it just felt like all the resources was like going into Assassin's Creed and say, you could do a Prince of Persia game and it not have to. People are not going to look at it and think Assassin's Creed as long as you make it clear that it's not Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I mean Assassin's Creed did kind of take over. Mm-hmm. I mean, because the Sands of Time series did really well.
Yeah.
Like particularly the first two. I think the third one it started to drop off.
Well, then they made that fourth one where you couldn't die, and that pretty much tanked the series.
More or less. And then Assassin's Creed comes out, and the first one is like I remember Assassin's Creed is like a perfect example of one of those games that I was like, this game's okay, but I bet you if they make a part 2, it'll be great.
Yep.
And boy, was it.
Because I bought Assassin's Creed 1. It was the first game I purchased with my Xbox 360. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I'm playing and I'm like, yo, this feels great. This looks great. And then I got about halfway through and I was like, we just packing game in to just make sure we got enough game, huh?
More or less, yeah. It was definitely padding in there.
Yeah, there was like three, like in the middle, like three of the people you had to assassinate. It's like just rinse and repeat. Go listen to some people.
Get on this horse and slowly go to this next town
and do the same thing again. Go to the top. let the eagle go around, and then So Mortal Kombat 1. Someone got vindicated. Someone.
Yeah, Ed Boon came out onto the stage and said, Zach is correct.
Zach Caldillo.
I never said you weren't correct.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You said no.
You did. You said, nah, there's no way they're brothers.
I did not say that.
There's audio.
They might be. I said that's not what I picked up. And I
actually they're brothers in arms.
Did not say, I said he said brothers in arms, which to me said that they weren't. But then I also said, because I'm not dumb.
I'm smart.
Yeah, I hedged my bets. I hedged my bets and said, but you may be right. But I picked up that they were, not actually, but yes, they are brothers. And why can she see? I was so confused for a second. I'm like, wait, who's the guy with the sword? Is that Scorpion? No, why is he in a suit? Wait, is this Kenshi?
Yep.
Why is he not blind yet? I'm assuming in story because there's other gameplay that's been shown where he
already has
he was blind. I was watching.
I love Johnny Cage's attitude already.
I was watching Maximilian and Justin Wong talking about they got to play it.
Yeah, I've heard a few people talk about.
So, if I'm not mistaken, because I had to skim through a lot of stuff yesterday.
Hey man, we got ball fade Jacks over here. I'm with it.
If I'm not mistaken, Kenshi, since he has basically his stand, he doesn't get something was different with cameos with him. Like either he can't use it as much, or he can't use a cameo when he has the
that makes sense.
The shadow out, or he just doesn't get a cameo. I keep forgetting to look at the footage and see if he.
Well, he used the cameo because he used Sub-Zero to do the Team X-Ray.
Okay, so yeah, I don't think he can use a cameo while that thing is out.
Yeah, no, they never showed it where it was out at the same time. I'm happy that Raiden is just a monk with powers. Like we don't really explain that. Technically he had the powers because he was a thunder guy, but not really.
I mean, Liu Kang always was shooting fireballs out of his hands before he was the fire god. So,
it's just what they do.
Yeah. So, well, I guess the White Lotus, they just know how to get powers.
They tap into their chi, and each person's chi is aligned with a certain element.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you got to find your element. Anyway,
Big Goro over here throwing them bows.
Yeah, and some folks are like, "Oh no, is he not going to be a playable character? Probably not."
I mean, why? Listen,
but again,
Raiden better say gibberish when he dive across that screen.
And then Stryker comes out, and I was like, "Oh my God, Stryker actually is!"
Yeah, God, we still doing this.
But Kung Lao was both a cameo and a main character. So
yeah, Ed Boon said that there will be main roster characters may have cameo versions,
so
and
like both Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Johnny Cage and Liu Kang, not Liu Kang, Kung Lao.
Yeah, they've showed cameo versions of both.
Yeah, like the confirmed ones right now.
He blind there.
And then he showed it said his name is on that nameplate when he slams his face into it. So I'm assuming each person will get their own nameplate.
Yeah, and then like the cameos get their classic fatalities. You saw Kano do the heart pull one, and then
which is crazy that apparently you can use cameos to do fatalities.
And apparently brutalities, I think they said. So that's crazy. But yeah, this was like, oh. At first I thought it was the new Sonic game.
I mean, it is.
What is it? Sonic? Well, I mean, no. I was just saying, just for folks who aren't seeing the video. What's it called? Sonic
Frontiers?
No.
Talking about this game?
Yeah, this game.
Superstars.
At first, I thought it was. I thought it might have been Generations again.
Oh yeah.
Because he was going from 2D to 3D and everything, but then he stayed in 3D. But it still could have been that. But no, it's basically just a 2.5D Sonic game.
Yeah,
which I'm good with. I'm happy that Sega.
Honestly, I thought this was the direction they should have gone in them a long time ago.
Yep.
Well, yeah. But I mean, when they finally came out, because I think Sega always, I know Sega always felt like they had to do something different with them every time.
Which is why they always do something different with them.
They talked about it's the issue they had with doing a 2D Sonic game was speed.
Oh, showing his speed?
Yeah, it's like the way modern consoles work and everything. In order to make a stage long enough to feel like the older games, and trying to make it look like this and stuff. Now, this was back in the day. It would have taken so many resources and blah, 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 and whatever, which is why they were like, well, if we're going to do 3D, we might as well make it like an open, thing. And sometimes it worked and a lot of times it didn't. But no, I'm happy after, the last 2D Sonic game. Not the last one they released.
Colors?
No. The one that they had the outside company make.
Talking about Mania?
Mania, yeah.
Yeah.
After that game did good, they was like, okay, there is an audience for the old ones, which folks who wanted the old ones have been saying for years. So
there's always going to be an audience. That's the reason why you keep making them compilations that always sell decently enough, because people
except for this last one when they tried to sell it 1, 2, and 3 for $60. It's like, but I can get it in the Sonic in this.
You can get it on the Sega collection for $5.
Exactly. So, but anyway, and then there was the new Dragon Ball game, I almost called it.
Dragon Quest?
At first, I thought it might have been Dragon Quest.
Yeah. I mean, it is and it isn't.
I mean, it's made by, obviously, Akira Toriyama. I was like, is this like a more futuristic Dragon Quest?
But no, it's like its own world. But, I mean, clearly you see all of the influence of it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. But it actually looks pretty cool.
It does.
So it's a world where demons and humans coexist and stuff. And it looks like
I feel like there was another anime that's like that.
Yeah, I mean there's been a couple,
multiple actually.
Yeah, there's a few of them, but even like in this fictional version that they've made, I'm happy that they finally, because Akira Toriyama's talked about wanting to do other games other than just the Dragon Quest stuff, but it's always like,
Dragon Quest is one of the biggest brands in Japan, if not the world. So
yeah, so it's like
I would walk away from.
But creators like to get a chance to do other stuff, so I'm happy that he's actually getting a chance to do that, and hopefully it turns out to be something that people like support, because I know sometimes when things look like other things, like that was one of the issues Blue Dragon had.
Blue Dragon, yep.
Where it was like, oh, it looks like Dragon Ball, but it's nothing to do with Dragon Ball, so people are immediately like,
well, yeah, it looks like both Dragon Ball and Dragon Quest, but it's
neither.
Yeah.
They're like brand new stuff that looks like something else.
Yeah. So
that's why Lost Odyssey looked so different. Had to make sure nobody knew it was all different. Now we got Alan Wake or John Wake. John Wake 2 is what I've been calling it. Well, apparently you can play the game as the lady the whole time is what they were saying during the presentation. Or you can. There'll still be parts you have to play Adam, but for the most part you can play as her.
I think you can play it in. I think it's like two separate games that you can play like all the way through, but at certain points.
Like maybe like a Resident Evil 2 type of thing?
Pretty much, yeah. They're going to intersect. Yeah. That's a great way to explain it.
I know they're being like vague about it because they don't want to really tell the story, but it's looking like he's still kind of living in the dream world that he's writing, but it kind of looks like she might be too.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe she's his character.
Oh, snap.
Could
because isn't he an author? And
yeah, he's an author.
All of this kind of started,
and the stuff and the novels that he write kind of come to life, usually in his dreams. But in this one, like a FBI agent was killed by some unknown means, seemingly some kind of monster or something. So she comes to wherever he is to investigate. He's still dealing with his stuff, but now it looks like
the world's emerging.
Yeah. So, but like I said, they've been really vague about it.
Now, this game, the Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 is what this is, right? It's the sequel.
Is it Space Marine 2?
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up with. There's so many Warhammer games.
Yeah, well, it's like they'll go through this lull where you won't really see a lot of them, and then it'll just be...
There's like 20 of them.
Yeah, just start pumping them out. Which this one was always like recognized as one of the better ones, but I mean, they hadn't gotten a sequel in forever, and this has been in development for quite some time. But the good thing about this particular trailer is they show co-op, which every time we see more co-op games, we keep adding to the theory that we just can't do 4 players anymore with the technology.
There was a few games shown over the weekend where there was actually 4-player co-op. I was like, hey,
in fact, there's a trailer in here that has 33-player co-op.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't remember the name of that, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Well, I already told you half the title.
Yeah. But it's cool to see that they're gonna have some co-op with that. I think that's gonna be really cool. This one will surprise me a little bit. I was excited.
It's made by the same people.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of weird. Not weird, but
well, it doesn't seem like I don't know their studio size, but I just feel like if it's not a big studio, you probably want to just do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
What was this one again?
Toxic Commando.
Oh, that's right.
Which they didn't show any gameplay footage for this, right? Or it's like
I don't remember.
I don't.
All right, we'll see. But I know it's supposed to be from John Carpenter, which I'm assuming that just means like the base vision of the game, because I don't think John Carpenter's out here making games.
He's made a couple games in the past. I can't remember.
The story.
You think about Clive Barker's Jericho?
Maybe. But I feel like his
name has been attached to video game projects before.
A game or two before.
Yeah. But it's supposed to have a heavy 80s vibe.
That's right. Yeah,
I don't know if this, like you said, I don't see no HUD, so I can't trust it.
This looks like gameplay.
Yeah.
It
looks like a
reminds me of because I remember when they were showing this part, it's like this kind of reminds me of Dead Rising 3.
Yeah,
for some reason.
I got a little House of the Dead feel to it too, like the like if you had to actually walk around the way that all the zombies be coming up and how the eyes was glowing.
Mm-hmm.
Or what's the game, Zombie Army, that they've had like 5 games for.
Oh yeah. Which is, I always thought of that as a throwaway game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
but it actually had. I watched it the other day and
No, I mean it's not bad. I always never understood how like it felt like the Killing Floor, which I like, got more like I don't know. I always seen more people talk about that more than Zombie Army, and I played it and I'm like, this has more stuff in it than the Killing Floor. Like it's the same kind of concept except for it had more stuff in it. But we'll see. What that wasn't during that one was during the Microsoft show, right?
I think so.
So I think that one.
What's that one?
The Toxic Commando. I want to say it was during the Microsoft show.
No, that was during the first day.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. It sure was. Yeah.
Same with this.
Now this one, I'm very surprised at this game. This is Power World, right?
Oh, is this
so this is the Pokemon MMO
with guns?
Yeah, with guns.
But this isn't Pokemon, right?
No, it's not at all. But you know what this is. Like this is
clearly it was inspired by it.
Yeah.
Inspired or stolen?
I mean, there's another game I don't know that's in here.
That looks like a Pokemon that I know.
There was a game
Same with that one.
There was a
and no, it's Boatman.
There's a game in the Microsoft show that I don't know if it's in here, but if it's not, I'm gonna try to remember to bring it up. That was also heavily inspired by something.
Bro, like some of these, I'm like, when I was watching this, I'm like, are they doing another type of Pokemon game, like a Pokemon Rangers type thing? Or?
No, it just you know what it reminds.
But I'm like, I don't recognize all these Pokemon, but I'm not fully versed on the whole 900 Pokedex.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, maybe there's just some of these I don't know.
Well, it also looks like a tech demo. It makes me uncomfortable. It looks like a vertical slice.
So man, and then when there's a scene in this trailer where they're like flying something, and it looks like a Lucario statue, and I'm like, oh, it's Lucario, so this must be Pokemon. But why do they have like tanks and stuff?
Dude, just
seeing these things.
It looks like a bad mobile game commercial.
Submachine guns is just weird.
It is.
I don't know. It could be something, or it could be shut down before it even comes out because of legal reasons.
I guess that. I don't know.
I hope the game comes to fruition. I also feel like people are not going to support it as much as people think. Like as much as everybody's dying for like this next big Pokemon game because Nintendo doesn't satisfy all of these people's needs for Pokemon, even though the games sell ridiculously high. It's like somebody's gonna because there are a bunch of it's like Koromon and a few other like fake Pokemon games.
So the big difference between that Pokemon and Power World though is it looks like Power World probably runs on like a PS5 or PC and probably doesn't have stop animation backgrounds.
That's just because of the draw distance and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I if it comes out, I hope people support it because I just always feel like there's been these other Mon games and people don't support them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But moving along, I was very excited by this.
I'm confused by this.
The man who forgot his name? Or erased his name?
Erased his name or something, yeah.
So are there 2 Like a Dragon games coming out?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was tripping balls.
No. Yeah,
the Yakuza games in Japan were always called Ryuga Gotoku, which translates to like a dragon. So when that other more RPG one came out, they used that one to switch the name over, and that's what the series is always going to be called.
Oh, so it's not going to be called Yakuza anymore?
No.
So this one looks more
a series.
This particular game though looks like more of the Yakuza style.
Right.
Yeah. That's
it's carrying on that storyline. If you've been keeping up with the 18 games that they made before.
Well, I mean, he's got 6.
Well, I know.
Kazuma Kiryu.
And so this is the one that's more like the.
This is the RPG one.
This was going to be the RPG one. So they're kind of 2 separate things.
Yeah, keeping the story of Ichigo.
And so now he shows up in America.
Yeah,
naked on a beach for some reason.
Probably got poison knowing him.
And I don't know why more folks don't realize he's nude.
How do they know?
Well, he had the newspaper.
Oh, you're talking about the people in the actual trailer?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, because I knew he was nude immediately.
Well, no, it seems like not enough folks.
Doing the Austin
to me,
Powers
it seems like more folks should have been reacting to this.
So people in their own world.
Well, because he wasn't approaching. He didn't get noticed until he started approaching a lady.
Yeah.
And you know how.
I mean, now it's a decent exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to register as on the list, and life for Ichigo is going to be real different in America.
Yeah, but it's funny seeing these 2 trailers back to back because it really does show
How different they are.
Yeah, because one is, one's much more sternly serious tone wise, and the other one is not.
Not at all. Which is dumb because like the actual story of Like a Dragon was very like serious.
Yeah, the story can be, but
they always do these things with him in particular. Like they did it a little bit in the first the Kazuma Kiryu version.
Yeah,
but never.
Oh, there's definitely some silly stuff.
Yeah, but never as much as they did with the one with Ichigo. Like it immediately was like, nah, it's gonna be a lot of goofiness.
Yeah, this is gonna be more
early 2024 stuff that kind of hurts. But.
Yeah.
Was under the way. This is one of the games where I was like, I'm watching it and I'm like, I'll wait to see more. Not because I think it's bad or anything. I just was like, I'm
trying to remember this one.
It's gonna be going.
It's like C-Lab.
Yeah.
So like a exploration game, or it's gonna be undead folks at some point.
That's always the thing. Is like, so am I actually just gonna fix an underwater observatory type station up, or is it gonna be where
there's another game that takes place like in a C-Lab too, right? Or am I tripping?
I know there was one game shown where it was like a oil rig or something.
Oh, that's what it was.
That one definitely looked like some kind of
something's gonna go bad.
Yeah. Survival horror type.
Well, see, like he's getting like mines and stuff. It's like, okay,
yeah, this one just looks like more.
Is he just solving puzzles?
Yeah. Environmental exploration, puzzle solving stuff.
But look at that part. So you staying? Are you there? Like, what are we talking about? It's gonna get weird. There's no way it doesn't get weird.
Yeah,
it's not that far away either.
Nope. August 29th.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was like either things were coming out within like the next couple months, or it was like it'd be a while.
Which one is this? Immortal?
Yeah, it's the EA original.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's gonna be pretty decent.
What's it called again?
Ascension, I think, or no. There you go.
Immortals of
Avium.
Yeah.
Hey man, some of these A names is throwing me off because we got was it Avalon and
Avowed.
I keep calling it Avalon.
Yeah. Which I was happy they finally showed Avowed, but we'll get to that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks.
It's not. It's the actual gameplay is starting to look a lot less. Remember you were saying that when we were talking about the vertical slices thing before, where they were showing this before and it didn't have a HUD and it seemed a little more perfectly targeted and stuff like that. Yeah. Now you're seeing the actual gameplay.
This is just raw gameplay.
Yeah,
with HUDs and everything.
And it don't look bad. It looks pretty fun.
No, yeah.
It just looks like a Doom type game with magic instead of guns.
More or less, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that either.
Which I'm surprised that. I mean, it's happened a few times, but I guess it never catches as big.
What do you mean?
Like there aren't more games that try to do like first person stuff that isn't just shoot stuff.
You're
basically still shooting
magic
stuff, but it's like, yeah, exactly. You're just basically switching up the guns for magic, yeah.
Well, there's a actual like original Doom clone that does this too. I can't remember the name of it, but it's on Game Pass.
Oh, there's a few of them. Hexen.
Hexen was the one I'm thinking of.
Okay, I was about to say that was pretty much the biggest one back in the day.
But it looks like it's gonna have pretty good production value and stuff to it.
Oh yeah.
Wonder if the characters kind of catch on with people. It looks. I know it's gonna sound bad, but you know how when you realize how many things were made to sell toys back in the day.
Oh yeah.
This game looks like in some parts to me because of the production value and like how like elaborate the character costume designs and stuff are. It's like looks like you're trying to get people to be like cosplay these people.
I don't know. It's like I think I said the same thing the last time we saw this. It's like the faces look straight out of Anthem.
Yes,
it's probably running on the same engine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was Frostbite, right?
It was Frostbite. So yeah. It's as far as we know, it's Frostbite.
It's always Frostbite. If it's EA, it's Frostbite.
Yes,
you don't.
EA, but isn't this an EA original? Like where it's like a studio that's not really like.
I feel like we might not see it, but part of that agreement is you using Frostbite.
I mean,
you want this? Hey, look, you want this money? You want to make this game? Frostbite it up. We got all these we got all these assets from Anthem. Somebody's gonna get some use out of it.
At least do something with it. At least use the face tech, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, Frostbite's not a bad engine.
No.
No, but it just wasn't made for the stuff that they keep trying to use it for.
Yeah, like those teams had to design assets from the ground up for it. It didn't have any of those things in it already, and that made development longer and harder for all of them.
Yep.
But I guess
sure
now
it's
yeah, so
probably
at this
not a
point they've
problem.
had to design all this stuff.
Well, after all these years of trying to learn how to do it, it's
Yeah.
like, hey, we finally got it.
Well, them blades of grass be looking good, man. I'm telling you. Y'all don't never zoom in on FIFA like that, but it's nice.
Hey, yeah.
See an alfalfa, you can see the, whatever, the turf and other grass, other surfaces.
Hey, I mean, to be fair, I was telling Nolan on Saturday, I was not impressed with the Final Fantasy VII remake because of the blades of grass.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean-
whenever we get to it, I'll
We'll,
explain what I mean.
we'll talk about some of the issues that we got with that. Yeah, I got some issues.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm a big hater, so according to people. Well, yeah, I mean, they finally showing a lot of gameplay for this. I don't know, did they show the date for this release?
I don't remember offhand.
Well, hopefully it comes up. But this is it's much longer.
But yeah, it's like they cannot be accused of not showing stuff here.
Because it looks like he almost dies like several times in these
But
gameplay.
this looks like it's probably IGN like captured gameplay themselves, and it's just.
I wonder if he'll have like weapons, or if it's just you learn these spells and this is what you use.
Probably like have different elements. I think didn't they say you get like three?
There's hex in there.
I think there's like three different elements or different colors of magic, and you probably go down like a tree or something.
Yeah,
Probably. It looks like the left hand always does the whip thing, or
it's probably
only
like the
does certain
defensive.
things.
Yeah.
It's a long trailer.
Yeah.
Compared to all
Well, like I
the
said, I
others.
don't think it's a trailer. I think it's actually a preview. But
We still don't know
Cool.
a lot about the actual story of the game, which could be a good or bad thing. I kind of like not really knowing what's going on.
I mean, as long as they don't try to make a game as a service with post-game extra crap that
They don't
don't
actually have.
really need.
Yeah, just let it be its own standalone thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
more companies are seeing that's actually a thing that folks will buy.
Yeah.
So just give us that every now and then.
Now, we don't have a lot of footage for this game, Star Wars Outlaws. The actual gameplay presentation is supposed to be today with the Ubisoft presentation.
Yeah. I forgot Ubisoft was going to make a Star Wars game. So this was
They
this was a
announced it
surprise.
long that they were working on something, right? Like they announced that.
Oh, I
they-
didn't notice that yesterday. I always wondered about
a
that.
couple of years ago.
Yeah.
The when the starter stories come out of hyperspace,
Mm-hmm.
they seem to always miss everything and not run into stuff.
Oh well,
But
not into each other. Yeah, I mean you probably generally don't want to come out of hyperspace
boom, he
with a
just-
chance to
Yeah.
run into
he
something.
fucks up that shit.
the same size at least.
What else did? Wasn't that the whole?
Well, I always meant like when they come into like battles.
Yeah, when they just zip in from
Yeah.
hyperspace. Yeah.
I know they're not going to run into a planet or anything.
Well, no, but other ships. I think it just as a safety precaution. You don't want to. Yeah, you want to get into the battle, but you probably don't want to jump directly into the middle of it because you never know when something's flying.
Yep.
And
But if I'm a starter sure who gonna run into me though?
Yeah.
Because
As
I'm not losing that
As
fight.
long as you're not running into another starter store, you should be fine.
Oh, okay.
You may tear up a hole or something. Some of our people will die, but like we're in a Star Destroyer because we're not good people. So if we lose some people in the battle, that's cost of business right
collateral.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Mon Cala ships are pretty big, so you probably don't want to run it on.
I don't know what that is, and
that was just
I
a
don't want
little
to
frigate.
learn.
That was just a little. Yeah, it can crash into one of those, but you probably don't want to run into. Anyway. Yeah, so I was like, huh? Is that Dr. Aphra? No, she doesn't have the thing on her head.
I think she's just some random character.
Yeah. It seems like she's just created for this. And then
Oh, scoundrel,
you're dealing
though.
with So you're dealing with other, outlaws,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. And I wonder if
We're wanted men.
I wonder if there's going to be other cameos from other outlaws and scoundrels that
Oh yeah,
we know.
everybody's gonna have either a cool leather jacket or a half cape.
So the first thing every Star Wars fan is going to ask, just like I was, so what era is this going to take place?
Yeah, when does it take place?
Then I think they said it took place between
3 and 4.
I don't know.
2 and 3. I think is where it's supposed to take place.
Wait.
Oh, so before the Clone Wars?
Like Clone Wars era?
No.
Or 4 and 5.
4 and 5. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. That's what I'm asking.
That's what we said because we thought you meant Clone Wars.
I hate y'all so much. I hate Star Wars so much.
Yeah, so that guy looks like somebody from the Black Suns, but I mean, it's just a guess. So, but yeah.
So it's between 4 and 5. So Greedo's dead.
Yeah,
Greedo's dead.
yeah.
So you won't
run a
see
Um. So because that's right, because they showed Han Solo and Kryptonite
Carbonite.
and Carbonite. So that
did they?
Yeah, that was him.
yeah.
So that would have been after 5, though.
It would have been after
But he said 4 and 5.
between
Darius is.
5
I'm
and
sure
6
it
he
been.
meant.
Darius
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
liar.
I said. Didn't I say the names? Empire.
you
and
didn't.
It's between Empire and Jedi.
Empire
5
and
and
Jedi.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Oh, and then
Dude, I was so confused by this.
I'm loving
Fable.
it.
So
I'm here for the
I figured
vegetables.
what it was immediately, and this was one of those trailers where they really skirted the line of, because they don't really show any Fable gameplay here.
No.
I'm sure all of this is in engine, which is going to be their excuse for, hey, we said nothing was going to be CG. We didn't say necessarily everything was
In-game
gonna be
engine.
gameplay. Mm-hmm. I'm sure this is in engine.
Yep.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Is going to look pretty cool.
I'm glad they got him.
And
Hey, man.
but yeah,
I love him.
He's just here
figured-
for the
I
vegetables.
can't think of his stupid name, but I really
Yeah, I
like
can't
Yeah.
think of his name either.
He's the British black
him.
nerd.
He's from IT Crowd.
Yep. And Neighborhood Watch.
I don't know either one of those.
I haven't seen that.
I'm thinking of somebody else then. But either way,
He's a British black dude. British black nerd. That's his whole get down.
okay. Yes, I was like, so let me guess, he's the bad guy, right? And of course, or at least
How you think he's the bad guy? He kept telling you what he was talking about. Vegetables.
antagonist. Well, but he was also talking about the age of heroes being over. And then, as like I put it together right before this, is like he's probably a giant because they were talking about the giant pumpkins, and she's coming to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
but we make giant pumpkins.
I know.
Yeah.
So why-
That's kind of the thing. It's like he's not really a bad guy. He just likes his farm, but the farm must
Richard
be
Ayoade, or whatever his last name is. He has a weird last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Clearly he didn't make it.
Yeah.
At the end, you see cracked glasses. He didn't really make it.
So that one kind of skirted the everything's going to be in engine and gameplay. It was probably in engine, but not
Here's a
really
33
gameplay.
player co-op game called
Yeah.
33 Immortals,
33 Immortals. Yeah. So, okay.
which I've played some of their games in the past and I've enjoyed them. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's been other stuff like this.
No,
this
they-
is the first time they've done co-op. Everything they've done in the past has been single player.
Oh, okay. So I presume it's going to be something like Pac-Man 99, where you just start playing and then other folks get thrown into the same game and you just
I don't know. It looks
go?
like
It looks like roguelike, but you can play co-op. Like maybe you can join into a queue or something.
I mean, they can't imagine anybody's going to have 32 friends to play this game with. So
I'm sure there's a
it's gotta be
matchmaking.
Yeah, it's gonna be matchmaking.
random. Yeah,
And then
But
where folks just kind of join in as you go.
yeah. Hopefully you can do like rooms, because I imagine they would want to do like get the
Like a
the
server?
Twitch stuff, like people playing with their followers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, you just had a room open and let people be able to jump in.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be more akin to like almost like an MMO raid,
Mm-hmm.
where you guys there's no like competition or anything. You're just working together to defeat a big baddie.
Trying to get some gear, get some cool stuff, complete whatever the quest is. Was this one the day one Game Pass? I think it
so.
was. Because there were a couple of
Actually,
yeah. If it says Game Pass on it, it was a day one.
it did say Game
Not
Pass on
not
it?
all of them. Some of them weren't day one, but the Game Pass things still show up.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So
none
there
of their
was-
other games are on Game Pass.
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 games that I saw that didn't say day one Game Pass, but it still had the Game Pass thing down there. So it's like it's going to be on Game Pass eventually.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because none of their other games are on Game Pass.
Yeah, from that company. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that one could be. I just couldn't tell you for sure if it was or
Yeah.
not. So I didn't realize Microsoft owned the company that made these games.
I
Me,
didn't
me and
either.
you both. I had no idea that they owned the Payday
'Cause,
company.
I did. I was watching the.
isn't- Never mind.
No, say it. Go ahead. Be a hater.
I thought Sony was scared that they would take games away from the Sony platform. Isn't Payday 2 on Sony platforms?
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes more money to put it on multiple platforms, Sony. Why don't you understand that?
They're really.
And this one seems a little more like focused on the shooting, because the other one was like just get the, like, at least from what I played with the Payday games, it was always get the money, minimum action required, because you don't want to have a shootout with the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the same way.
Yeah, I bet it's the
but
same.
This is
but
what sells.
this makes it more
That's
exciting to show off.
Yeah, but this is the reason why I couldn't finish missions on this game, because dudes was doing that. Hey man, shut up! Pop, 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 pop.
Who are you playing with? Random people?
Of course.
Well, that's what your first problem.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hey guys, y'all want to jump into some Payday 2?
Hey, it's on Game Pass. I can now.
Okay, yeah.
I think I own it.
I'm pretty sure we owned it for the PlayStation though.
No, I think I own it on PC.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like
Through
I know I
IGN
played it on
Prime
PS4.
or whatever that shit was.
That makes sense.
September 21st.
I mean, Microsoft has games coming out. It's just not.
It's just the stuff that folks have been waiting for.
I guess Starfield is a big one.
I mean,
Yeah,
Starfield is a very big game.
But this game,
But it's supposed to be out
I
a while
was
ago.
super upset about this shit.
So yeah, that's the funny part. So
we talking about Hellblade 2, which has been a running theme with this podcast. Is
Dude, as soon as
because
she came up,
it's like their closest thing to like a Sony,
like a God of War.
yeah, like a God of War type. You know, with
This is their direct competition to God of War.
more or less, yeah. And so the girl from what's the name of the company that makes it?
Ninja Theory?
Yeah. She comes out and she says, you know, last time we showed you this exciting
I
trailer.
thought we were gonna
So
get a
now we're
bunch
going to
of
show you a
stuff.
boring one.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get a bunch of stuff, and it's going to be out in like October or November.
And it's like they show one of the cutscenes.
She's just sitting
Now,
in a fucking
anybody
cave.
who played the last game,
it's very reminiscent of the actual real game,
right?
the
And,
first
and,
game.
and I think that's why they did that, to appease the folks who were concerned that it was more action oriented than, you know, the internal struggle that she has.
I mean, but there is action in the original game too. Like this.
Yeah, but the action really was not. It was probably the weakest part of that game. I don't want to say it's the worst part, because it wasn't a bad game, but it was like
It was
the weakest
weak.
part
It was
of the
it was
game.
clearly the weakest part was the combat.
Yeah,
So I figured
so-
that's what they need to fix.
yeah.
Maybe that's what they need to show.
But don't
Which they
forget
kinda
that
did with the last thing.
But don't forget the first game was also acclaimed for like stuff like this. So I think they wanted to show that this stuff is still in the game. We're going to show you a whole cutscene here where she's
It's not a
meeting up
cutscene.
with some god.
No, yeah, that's right. Because there's no cut.
This is supposed to be gameplay.
Yeah.
Well,
She even said
it's
it was
a
gameplay.
in-engine cutscene. No CG, which very few things actually use anymore anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why they always be trying to do that. It's like, bro, if your engine is good enough, you're not even using that. You
Yeah,
just
most games just do stuff in engine now. So now when companies say, you know, and this isn't CG, it's like, so it's not a big deal. Everybody's basically doing that.
if you're using Unreal Engine 5 at this point, you're not using CG.
I did think the game looked a little grainier, even than the original
Nah.
combat footage. No, if you look at it back to back, because I happened to watch a preview show of the Xbox thing before the Xbox thing came on, and even the video that came on before this one, it was like a stark difference. That it was cleaner and stuff. Now that may just be because it's a you know, like a cinematic scene, and they do the things that I hated when video game companies do and put film grain in it. Does anybody actually want film grain in their freaking games?
Yes, it makes it look more
It
like.
drives me crazy, because all the previews never show it with film grain, and then you turn the freaking game on and it's grainy as hell. It's like, what is wrong with this game or something? Oh, they got goddamn film grain in. Get this. Anyway,
Getting tight.
it's one of my pet peeves. I hate film grain in video games. I hate it.
Well, you won't see like the corner of the screen pop a little bit and all that.
No, I do not.
What are you talking about? How do you know it's cinematic if we
The
don't?
original Mass Effect had film grain. I was pissed.
I like the film grain sometimes.
Oh my God.
I don't feel like I'm in an old timey theater.
I hate it. But anyway,
must
thinking
hate
about
Fallout.
it afterwards, I was thinking maybe they wanted to again ensure folks that this stuff was still in the game too.
I mean, she's clearly going to still
However,
have all of
We
the.
still don't have a date.
No, we have a year.
Do we? We've had a year, several years.
No, they have never released a date.
They really haven't. No.
They've never given a date before.
The first announcement about this game, it was supposed to be a
Well, like
launch
the very,
title.
very first. Well, yeah, but
These games will be launching with the Series X. Is what
Yeah,
they
well,
said.
I think it's a
with-
launch.
with
I think then the launch window, not title.
yeah,
Like it wasn't a day one title. It was
yeah.
supposed
I
to
don't
be
know
in,
if it
like,
was
the
supposed to be a
first
day
year.
one title, but either way, it's
But
still
we
waiting.
got scorned before we got this game.
And Scorn was how late.
I don't know,
But
man.
it
I
is coming,
I was like,
That was one of the ones that's
sure.
like, I'm sure they would have liked it to come out this year, but hey, if it hits 24, it's like a lot of this stuff, and then, but a lot of this stuff was like, it felt like Microsoft was like, hey, we know a lot of stuff we've been showing for years, including this.
Yeah,
Avowed.
I'm glad Obsidian
And
those.
so, but this is the first time we're actually seeing actual gameplay of this.
This is
Avowed.
Now I'm
which
not gonna
is-
lie to you. I do have some.
this is the trailer from the Following the Arrow thing, right?
Right. This is that game, which I remember like seeing this whole part and then watching it. I'm kind of like, oh,
yeah. Listen,
maybe they took a little too long to make it
yeah.
because this probably would have looked good back in what 2018, 2019.
Yep.
Now,
And even as a launch game, like a launch window game for the new systems, it would have been like, okay, I see where we're going.
yeah, but now it's kind of looks like it's outclassed by almost everything else in this particular type of genre. Doesn't look bad.
No, but
It looks like it kind of looks like,
you know what it looks like? It looks like a city and made Skyrim.
yeah, it doesn't even look like, I remember I was thinking to myself, it almost looks like Elder Scrolls 4.
Oh, snaps!
I don't
Yeah.
say it looks that bad.
Well,
No. It means
I'm not
like
saying
it's like
bad.
the visual decisions and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
so,
Because Skyrim
and-
has a more like
Skyrim,
mountain range type of landscape. and this-
Nordic,
yeah.
All the
kind of setting and
Skyrim
everything.
games
This
seem
this one's more like
dreary,
Elder Scrolls 4, but I mean, but it still doesn't look like a next gen game though. This
No, it
looks like
doesn't.
it could have.
I think this actually might end up. I think this. We'll see if when it finishes. Because I thought about this last time. I'm like, is this going to still be on the Xbox One? Because I feel like this.
No. It seemed like everything they announced, they only announced for Series X,
Okay.
and S.
So the difference between the Skyrim games and I think this visually is the
Elder Scrolls games?
Elder Scroll games. Sorry. God. No, actually, you know what? I'm talking about just Skyrim. Fuck
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Yes, it just says Series
yeah,
X.
it just says Series
The
X. Everything
Elder
I
Scrolls
noticed
games
that.
seem a lot more dreary
Yeah.
and gray. This has a lot more color.
Well, that's why I said Elder Scrolls 4 because it was more colorful and stuff, which a lot of folks actually didn't like about it at the time, which was weird. It's like you had
Yeah, talking about Oblivion.
brown, you had brown 3 and gray and white 5.
Mm-hmm.
4 was the one with all the colorful stuff. You went to grasslands and marshes, and everything looked a little different and was like colorful, and everybody was like, "Ugh, why is it so bright and colorful?" It's like, oh my God, you're the reasons they keep making crap like that. Anyway,
But it does feel like the Avalon might have been coming out a little
yeah,
too
'Cause-
late, which is another.
Avowed?
I mean,
yeah.
It's like Avalon, like makeup or
Yeah, but I think that's one of those things where it's just been in production for so long.
Which is, I mean, but
That
it's,
stuff has come out, and it's like there's been all kinds of other stuff. Hell, there's another Elder Scrolls that's gonna blow it away. Heck, even Starfield, which I don't know if Obsidian used their engine or not, but it sure does look like it.
does.
So-
It does. I mean, the thing I was thinking about with
I mean, clearly the game, even from the original teaser thing with the arrow, it was always gonna be you pretty much could think, okay, this is supposed to be like an Elder Scrolls like, but man, it looks like an old Elder Scrolls game.
well, I think the problem that I was having with when I saw it and I started thinking, I'm like, okay, so you have Fable, which is like high fantasy. And I know Fable has a different approach to the storytelling, and you can choose your own adventure. But it does feel kind of weird having two like high fantasy first party games, right?
I mean,
and like you said, there's gonna be another Elder Scrolls that they're gonna start talking about the moment Starfield comes out, like the next time that Bethesda shows something.
You say that, but
but I don't think that game's coming out anytime soon.
I think that's more wishful thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if it's a couple of years before you hear about it, because
we all saw the Splash Art thing,
2 or 3 or whatever. We just talked all the way over Flight Sim 2024. Bunch of airplanes and you get to do jobs. Okay.
Yeah, you get to work now. You don't just fly; you do work now.
Yeah.
Actually
And then
has missions.
And here's the game that for a split second,
I
saw Capcom and I was like,
yeah,
Onimusha.
But when I saw this, when the things were floating in there, I'm like, nah, that's.
Well, it could have still been spirits.
Nah,
it could still be ghosts.
See, when they were starting to show this stuff, I'm like, nah, because it's a little too far.
Yeah, it's a little too far for Onimusha.
Yeah, unless you were going to start the game off in the demon world,
which could have been, and they could switch stuff around and you start off playing as Oda.
Oh, bro, I would love if you played from Nobunaga's side.
Yeah, and then you play the bad guy the whole time. That'd be cool.
Yeah, they don't try anything like that. But instead, we get something that's something. It's samurai. It's just Power Ranger samurai. Something I don't know.
Well, but I was like, okay, so Capcom's back to where they were, where they're making so much money, they're trying stuff again.
Yeah,
coming out with new IP. Hey, we can release a Monster Hunter next week and make $17 billion. Let's try some new stuff.
Have some fun with it.
Yeah, and I'm cool with Capcom having fun and trying new things.
It looks like it's on their old engine for some reason.
It does seem like it's cleaned up, but it's
I think it's stylized.
Like from their old engine, or it's the new RE engine or whatever.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's still the RE engine. I think it's just stylized to kind of look, because everything kind of looks like I don't know. It's hard to describe, like motion toys.
Yes,
but the environments don't, like the ground looks awful.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to be paying attention. That's why we got all these colors.
Exactly.
They definitely using that old engine. But it did say Game Pass.
It's RE engine.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what? I'm just thinking about it. I don't think I put the new Final Fantasy remake trailer in this.
Oh, that's fine.
I'll have to pull it up.
Yeah, we pull it up.
You can pull it up. And then there was the climbing game.
Yeah. So what was the game that you saw? We watched the stream of. Oh my goodness! It was the game where the kid was climbing up.
Oh, Only Up, I think.
Yeah, Only Up. So I guess this is part of the new genre now of like vertical games instead of horizontal games.
Yeah,
I'm like getting over it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's cool. I know I'm not gonna play it, but I think one, visually this game looks way different than a lot of those games.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what the real audience for, because it's one thing when those games were like $5 or stuff like that. It's another to be like, this is a full-fledged release.
Well, we don't know that it is yet. It could be one of their smaller games, but I like the aesthetic of it at least.
Yeah, with the little creature and it's helping you do stuff, and it's like you're climbing, but you're also like harmonizing with the environment to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
When he starts to do some of the stuff where it's catching them and all of those things.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's all I was thinking. So also, you pretty much just climbing.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of the gameplay is definitely just
the climbing game.
It's like cliffhanger. I think like the idea, I was kind of thinking about it as a platformer. Like this might be another way that we get more platforming games, which I'm a fan of. I think we need more. We need more of those, because everything doesn't need to be the gameplay doesn't need to be you doing all these combos and stuff for the games to be good. They can still do other types of games like this.
Yeah, and you know,
Sure,
not
it's
everything needs to be a giant epic something.
There we go. Yes, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
I mean, we talked about that before. Everybody wants the next game that's gonna, you know, be Grand Theft Auto or something, and it's like not everything is gonna be that, and not everything has to try. Not everybody has to try to do that. Dang it! Sometimes we just want a good old fashioned game where a kid with a weird blue blob in his backpack climbs a mountain.
Yep. We gotta get to the top of the mountain. We gotta get this frozen hardcore or something to heat the town or something.
What sucks is it feels like these types of games are the only way we're going to get these types of games, like the games that don't take 20, 40 hours to beat, is from indie developers.
Yeah.
No big company are doing games like this anymore because they see them as a high risk, low reward.
Like you said about Capcom, like you got to wait till a company is like post multiple hits for them to even give out money to even try stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they'll just be like, well, we just got to keep making stuff that keeps getting us over this little like financial threshold. Otherwise, you know, we can't do it. So,
yeah. Otherwise, we got to waste money trying to hit a home run every time.
That's what it is. Yeah, yeah. You don't want to just get the ball in play. You got to do home runs every play. So now you're scrambling trying to find the next home run. When it's like, let's just get some games on base. Let's just
exactly.
Let's get some solid games.
Because you never know, they could develop into something much bigger than you anticipated.
And what I always think that there's a lost art, and sometimes you see it, but a lot of times I feel like it's lost, of building up a franchise, like taking something that doesn't need the big budget, but giving it enough to make it something that people like, and then you get more people to like it and more people to like it, and you know, if you come out with some DLC or a sequel, you get, you know, influx more fans each time, and then you can make it into something that's grand. Now, this game threw me off because it looks like action figures. It's stop motion. Was it? What's the name of it?
Claymation?
Yeah, Claymation. Yeah. What's the name of the game though? Because I forgot.
Spirit of the Samurai. Or something
Spirit of the Samurai. Yeah. I kept thinking Way of the Samurai, but I'm like, no, that's a PS2 game.
That's a different game. You know, it kind of reminds me. What was that game that came out? Was it last year?
Trek to Yomi?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what I told Steve. I was like, it's Trek to Yomi, but it's the claymation stop motion animation, but it's more of a Metroidvania because Trek to Yomi was you start at the beginning and you literally just go to the end.
Yeah, you go through levels.
Yeah.
So the samurai transfers his spirit to what is some kind of sprite and a weird big-headed cat.
Yeah. Got to do some stealth missions.
That was a fox, not a cat. Oh, you mean that cat?
Yeah.
I thought you meant the thing they were just showing.
It's going to get him. Oh, no. But yeah,
it looks interesting.
You know, it did enough to, like, I got my eye on it, you know, no matter what happens.
Yep.
People finally get the next portion of this this love fest they had with Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. Yep. And for those in the know, they can see that the story is going on pretty much where it left off.
Yeah.
Where it looks like there's two separate timelines now. Anybody who played the game.
So this is
the difference.
This is the part where I kind of like, because you know I haven't really played these at all.
Mm-hmm.
The remake or I didn't like the original, but when when they talked about the remake, how visually stunning it was gonna be, but like this scene in particular like threw me off. Like he's running through all this foliage, but nothing is moving. But it's supposed to be a graphical masterpiece.
I mean, it looks good.
It does. Don't get me wrong. It looks great, but I don't know why. But that just like it like took me out of it. I'm like, why does the grass not move? Why don't the flowers? He's running through them, and they're just clipping through his legs.
Well, so the first game, a lot of folks knowing what the game is, because anybody who played 7 the first time, if you were like us, you thought the whole game was going to take place in that one city, and then all of a sudden you leave. And like the whole world's open up. So that's kind of what this is showing. But everybody was wondering, well, if the first of the remake games or the re-games is just going to be the first like 10 hours of the game, well, what are they going to do? Because I mean, the PS4 could barely run the game when you were just in the city.
Oh, it's dead. That's dead. That version's dead.
Well, yeah, this is only going to be on PS5 and then eventually PC. But everybody was like,
Which is kind of wild to let the PS4 play it and then be like,
"How are they
nah,
going to
you
do a
don't get it."
whole open world version when even the closed world version of it still struggled at points?" So them showing that stuff is like, hey, we actually do have the open world now, and it should be the same feeling.
Was it really open world though? It was
What?
more like a field.
Well, like in the original game or this? And this it's supposed to be open world.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's what they said.
yeah.
And I mean, it could
Now,
be open world in the same vein as Final Fantasy 15.
So okay. I'll put it this way. I heard it was supposed to be open world. I don't know if Square's actually come out and said that, but I've heard from folks that I trust that it's actually open world. I mean, even if it was something like 10, where you go to a map and you go from here to here on the map, and then you're in a certain map, like a certain gameplay area, and then you go around, and then you might go to the outside map to go to a different area again, which I could have saw them doing. But if it's actually open world, it is kind of like amazing that they actually was able to make an open world in this game. But that's kind of what had to happen. Again, anybody who played the original knows that's what's going to happen after what happened at the end of the first game. So, and all the beats are still there and everything, this the main story stuff. But like I was talking to Zach about, I always tell folks, you really need to play the original game before you play these.
Nah, they're not gonna do that
because this game is not an actual remake of 7. It's an actual different story going on that's super confusing already for folks who know what happened in the original game, and and if you don't, there's a whole second and third story that just goes over right over your head. But that's fine too if you're just playing an action RPG that looks great and you're having fun. Awesome, but you're missing the actual story of the game if you don't play through the original game and see what they've kind of snuck in there. Because as you play through the first game, you realize, again, if you know the story, to say, well, this is like 7, but stuff is different.
Yep.
So, yeah, because it's not remake, it's remake. But I'll leave it at that.
What Still Wakes the Deep was the oral game that we were talking about,
Yeah.
similar to the
Yeah, and that looks much more like,
bad stuff is gonna happen to
That looks
you.
like a horror game.
yeah.
Well, I think honestly, man, with the Final Fantasy 7 rebirth, reconstruction, rededuction, I'm excited. I'm excited for people to get to play it. I know there's a large audience for that game that is excited, but there's gonna be a lot of people like you that are looking at it like, hey, are we gonna have this conversation? And I honestly don't think like Final Fantasy 7 is a game where I feel like a lot of those people who are fans of that game, they ain't played that game.
Well, it's the one. It was the first big.
They watched. No, a lot of the fans that a lot of the younger fans of Final Fantasy 7, they watched Final Fantasy 7. They ain't played.
Well, yeah,
it.
because there's no real way to play, a more modern version of the game.
Yeah, they watched the game and they're like,
They've done remasters of it.
they did a PC port of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, not really. I mean, it's always just been the exact same game. Every time they re-release the game, everybody's thinking, "Is this the one?" No, it's just seriously the same game.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm
They
saying
even
is,
released it on mobile too, didn't they?
yeah, they did. Yeah. What I'm saying is that like for a lot of these people, they're not paying attention to all of those subtle, like not even subtle, but a lot of the changes in it. They're just seeing this is Final Fantasy 7, like HD-fied, like it's just, that's how they.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a new way to play it. But if I was just saying for folks who never actually played 7, the original 7, if they think they're getting a remake of the original, they aren't. They're actually getting a pseudo sequel to it. But I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
It's a reimagining.
No, it's not even that. But I'd have to go into spoilers if I did. It's a whole 2-hour thing if I go into it. So let's talk about the game that I totally forgot about until this came on for some reason, and like I'm super excited because it's going to give me an excuse to play through this game again
For like the 7th time.
Yeah,
but it would be the 4th time, but it would be the 3rd time I have to 100% the original game before I play this.
you don't have to, but you can't.
I have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Cyberpunk is getting some more DLC, right?
Well, it's getting its only DLC really.
Yeah, because the other stuff was
been
just
fixes.
Yeah.
And stuff that should have been in the game at launch.
We're giving up on multiplayer, though. We're never going to bring that up
So
again.
no multiplayer in this one. This is going to be the only story expansion for it, but then they've also said, but we're working on part 2 soon too. So, so there. We just at least wanted to get this out the door, and I got to tell you, I can't wait.
I mean,
I love the game. I know it had a crappy launch.
Still one of the more successful PC games in the past few years.
Yeah, and it really is just a fantastic game. It's just got crap smeared all over it after that launch. But if you thought you might have liked this game but saw what happened to it when it came out and decided I'm not going to play it, I recommend going and playing it now. It's mostly fixed, and it is so good.
I mean, I always told people when it first came out, it's like we never saw the issues that a lot of people had with the game.
I didn't see many of the game breaking
because
issues.
my game broke.
Yeah.
Well, you was playing on PC, weren't you? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I never saw any of the game breaking issues except for one when the boss spawned inside of a wall. But thank God I had a gun that can shoot through walls, and I was able to get him.
Take him down.
So it didn't break your game like mine.
Basically, yeah. But it would have had I not have had that specific gun.
First time it broke my game, I restarted. The second time it broke my game, I'm done.
Yeah, it'd be hard.
I totally get it. Shoot, the big bugs I had were mostly the funny ones. I would be riding on a motorcycle, then all of a sudden my character would T-pose with no pants on.
All right.
It was always hilarious.
Yeah, mine was, the part where you're sneaking out of the building with your friend?
Yeah. The whole prologue.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're sneaking out of the building. If I looked at any guard, my game crashed.
Wow.
I had to play with my back turned to the guards. And there was a point where there was just no way I could not look at a guard. And it would crash.
Wow.
So I had to start the game all the way over. And then the second time I got through that, I'm like, sweet, it didn't do it this time. And then I was doing one of the driving missions where the car talks to you. And I completed the mission, and the car wouldn't stop talking to me, and I couldn't accept any more missions. I was stuck on that mission forever.
Oh, wow.
So that's when I uninstalled it.
Yeah, you probably got to give it up at that
Understandable.
point. Yeah, the only thing that would be weird is like when it would load my saves, it would always load me not where I saved it. So and it would just be like a distance away. So is
it loading like the auto saves instead of your heart saves, or
no? So let's say, and this is after the part that you were playing, Zach. But when you meet old girl Pan Am in the desert, and you have like that, she's in like that desert town or whatever, like the little hotel. So I would save and stop there, like in the hotel. But then when I would load the game, I would be like 200 yards away from that room. And it would just be like the middle of nothing. But it would have like the marker where I was, because it would be like my next mission or whatever. And I'd have to run all the way over because it would be like off the road. It would be no cars. So I'd just run 200 yards and then it'd be like, hey, you ready for the next part? It's like, why? And it did it like, if I saved in the city at my apartment, when I loaded up to save, I would be like a random part of the city, like in an alley or just a random spot, nowhere near. You can call your vehicle or whatever, but I would just be like, okay, you just keep loading me not at the spot, just somewhere off in the distance.
Weird.
And I was only playing on PS5, so I have no idea if that was specific to the console or whatever was going on. But it was fun when I played it.
So I thought we were getting a new SimCity.
Oh, no, I knew we weren't getting a new SimCity. The second I saw this, I was like, this is a new Skylines game. Yeah. I thought it might have been a new expansion to Skylines, but this is actually City Skylines 2.
I'm actually happy because that means I don't have to buy all the expansions now.
Yeah, it's going to be on Game Pass, so.
And I like SimCity games because I can just kind of chill and watch stuff.
I've always wanted to try City Skylines because this is kind of where everybody went once SimCity 4 came out, and it was just so bad.
Oh, the launch was awful. The game was great. The launch was awful.
I didn't like it.
I did. I
hadn't played them since like SimCity 2000.
It was way too simplified, and
if you got deeper into the game, it wasn't that simple.
Whatever. I just didn't. I didn't like it, and I've always wanted to try this. I just never had time.
Isn't the first City Skylines on Game Pass now?
I don't think so.
Really?
Because I feel like if it was,
I would have tried it out.
It went free a few times on like Epic Games and stuff.
That's what.
But then you'd have to buy all the expansions, so there was no point.
Yeah.
Play it day one with Game Pass though for the new one.
Yeah, so I might give it a try.
I got excited for this, buddy. Let me tell you. All
Dude,
right.
they showed a shitload of Persona stuff.
Hey man, Sega Atlas out here saying we know it works. Okay, you want some 2D Sonic and you want some Persona stuff. All right, now they slick with this one though because they showed a bunch of Persona stuff that was day one on Game Pass, and then was like, but this one ain't. And I get it. It's the new thing. They got some stuff going on with the
UIP. They want to get some sales.
Yeah, they gotta get some extra sales. I get
For
it.
a second, I thought it was Shin Megami Tensei. I was like,
I thought it was too. I thought it was just gonna be like one of the main line.
Like pointy Persona, so it must be
Pointy Persona.
That's what I always think of because I know of the Shin Megami Tensei series and the Persona series, but I've never actually played any of them.
Really?
I've always wanted to, just never got around to it. Now I feel like it's too late.
No, you have. For Persona, you got Game Pass. You can play.
I know, but I don't have time for that.
Well, hey, look, I ain't gonna lie to you.
To go through all of them.
It is a commitment.
Yeah. Because I can play 3, 4, and 5 anytime I want. Zelda's still there, right.
Oh
now.
yeah, well it's dead right now.
I'm right at the end of that. So, and then Street Fighter I hadn't even played in a couple of days, and it's like making me mad.
Diablo's sucking a lot of time out of my Street Fighter time right now, and then Final Fantasy's coming next week. So,
but I was like, is this a new Shin Megami Tensei? And I was like, oh no,
nope,
Metaphor Refantazio.
And I'm gonna be waiting like that. That'll be on my list. I think it's I've been happy with what Atlas has been doing with that whole the whole license in general of the Persona, Shin Megami Tensei stuff, and how they've been separated. Because I just recently finished Shin Megami Tensei 5, and I'm like, yes, this is how we separate Persona from this. And both games are really good, but they both have their own, like, there's enough familiar about them, but there's enough different about them. But this game is from the Banner Saga people.
Yeah.
Which made me perk up because Banner Saga was a great game.
I played a little bit of the first one, and I've always wanted to go back to it, and I just never had the chance.
You beat the first two, right, Zach?
I beat the first one and I only played like 10% of the second one.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think something came out and I just got distracted.
That'd be the problem with some of these games, man. It's like there's only so much time and mental energy, and it's like I want to give you more. Like this looks like what I wanted more from of Dragon's Crown. Because Dragon's Crown was good, but also like nobody had it.
I had it.
Yeah, but I also didn't know you when Dragon's Crown was out.
I still have it, actually.
And also you had to play like a certain amount of time before co-op unlocked.
Yeah.
That was so dumb.
Yeah.
And if you started a new character, you had to play that character for X amount of time to get the co-op.
So you got back to that level again.
But this game seems like you can just jump right in, man, and have some fun.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Towerborn.
So like everybody went to go live in the tower, and now it's time to take the surface of the world back from the monsters, more or less.
Yeah.
Yep.
Humans need to spread out, man. We can't be cooped up. That's for other creatures, not us.
That's right.
But day one Game Pass, still some more. Was it another 2024 game?
Yep. Yeah, a lot of 24 games.
So
I was excited at first. I saw In Exile. I like some of their stuff.
Like that other game that was clearly inspired by Pokemon. Maybe these guys grew up playing
BioShock,
but BioShock Infinite
and BioShock Infinite and Dishonored.
But I mean, this is BioShock Infinite.
Well, no, you know what else this is like too? That they tried to slip in before and it didn't do well, but also it didn't play well. We Happy Few.
Yeah, a little, but I mean, I know, like, all steampunk stuff is, steampunk punky. I get it. But this in particular is just like, it almost looks like
Yeah, but it's women instead of men.
But there's like different versions of the world too, and it's like this is just BioShock Infinite.
Nah, they don't have a license on steampunk and
I know,
dystopian floating worlds.
And
they can't be the only people that can make dystopian
and then
floating
alternate
worlds.
reality where something changed and now things are bad or worse or whatever. No.
Infinite didn't really mess with time though.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I mean,
BioShock in general as a whole.
Right. The story
But
itself.
Infinite was
the actual
one of the biggest
gameplay.
parts of the game.
Yeah, it was the loop between the Dwight and then him getting the girl, and that's why she had the finger missing.
Well,
no, I'm talking about the actual gameplay. This seems like time manipulation is part of the gameplay.
Oh yeah.
Like
That
gameplay
is very
mechanics.
different.
Like BioShock Infinite, yes, the story had dealt with time travel,
But you wasn't doing it.
but you weren't actually manipulating
true.
time.
Yeah, it's like 2 split worlds that you go to, or there's something you can do to cause it to happen.
But still,
They don't have a monopoly on steampunk stuff, Nolan.
I totally get that. And again, it's like there's a thin line between being
BioShock's not even doing this stuff anymore. They're doing Judas with space. They're doing space BioShock.
They're doing
We haven't
another
seen-
BioShock in space.
When are we supposed to see that? Is that
It's in development.
that's not a Microsoft thing?
No, it's just in development.
It's his own
He's got his own company. I forgot the name
yeah,
of it, but
he
it's
went and formed his own company and he's making basically the same game.
it's in space with robots. It's different.
Yeah.
Androids.
Hey,
look, it's in space with androids.
Against it. I'm not against it, but when I saw it, I immediately knew, oh, this is him. Okay. Because that's just the game he's making now, and that's fine.
I didn't hear you complain that he was copying BioShock.
I mean, he created BioShock.
Still
So.
copy.
It's not his company.
Yeah, it's not his IP. He can't make another BioShock. He can't make a game that say BioShock. Can he?
Apparently, he can't even make a new System Shock, but somebody else did,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
even though he created it.
they said like they got to chill with some of the hyperbole with Starfield though. The dude said it was one of the most important games.
To them, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first
biggest game that they've ever made.
This is the first time they've made a brand new IP in 25 years.
Yeah, it's been
As
a while.
crazy as that sounds, it's
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's
I mean,
wild, but that
they've
is very
literally
true.
been doing Fallout and Elder Scrolls for the last 25
they were just
years.
doing Elder Scrolls, and then they bought the Fallout games, which the guy that originally made Fallout still has the right to make his own Fallout game, and apparently he might still be doing that.
Yeah, nobody worry about that.
But it'd be more of a tactics game, wouldn't it?
No,
it would be more like the original.
It's like the isometric
Yeah.
RPG ish.
Yeah. Basically, he can still make one like that. He can't make one like Fallout 3 and 4, but he can make one like the older ones.
So I watched all of this press conference. The short trailer and the long
The long talk. Yeah.
the long talk, and I'm excited.
I tell you, I remember the original trailer
I'm impressed.
when it was still supposed to come out.
That's a good way to say. Like I was in, but I was actually impressed by this press conference, and I didn't think I was going to be impressed because I was like, well, I mean, I like the game, and it's really not going to matter. Then I started seeing stuff about the melee and the combat stuff, and I'm like,
The different traits.
the traits, yes.
Which they talked about before, but yeah.
Yeah, but they kind of showed like
but they-
how it could
this
affect
was
you.
this was like a true deep dive into everything.
The space stuff, I was.
The space stuff looks kind of the worst part to me, but again, not worse,
Curmudgeon.
not bad,
but you comparing
weakest.
it. Look, but you comparing it to
Well, I played a lot of
like Squadron and
Star
Squadron,
Citizen,
Star
and that.
Citizen, Wing Commander,
Yeah, but we're talking about for a series.
TIE Fighter.
Yeah,
that's
like-
never dealt with something like
they
vehicle
haven't done.
combat.
Yeah, they haven't done vehicles.
They've
at
never
all.
done vehicle. Really.
Most you got was a horse.
Yeah, I know.
or a mech suit.
Yeah,
Oh, you know what? That's
Then
true.
the power
They had
suit.
power
the
suit.
power suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
but that was basically just you.
With an exoskeleton.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Gatling gun, which you could actually have a
But
Gatling
that
gun
different.
without it.
But no, I was underwhelmed by the original showing of the game back when it was still supposed to come out 11/11.
Because what
22.
we the trailer that we just saw was basically what they first showed, right?
No, there was some different stuff in that.
I mean, like,
No,
but
no,
the-
but kind of the same.
overall
essentially the same
presentation.
Yeah,
thing.
but it even still looks better because you remember I complained originally about how the gunfighting didn't look.
yeah,
It looked like the guns had no weight to it. The enemies barely reacted to getting shot. This looked a lot better.
they had to clean it up, man. That's why
All
we
of
needed
it.
all these
everything that they showed.
all these
looked-
delays.
Well, seriously, it's like the game's been pushed back for so long.
It reminds
I'm
me of Mass
glad.
Effect.
Oh,
Mass
A
yeah.
Effect.
lot of
Mass
folks have
Effect
been
2.
saying that.
Yeah.
that
But in a
they get
good
kinda
way,
Mass
though.
Effect. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
get kind of Mass Effect 2 vibes out of it, which I can see.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, being underwhelmed originally seeing it, and I was always in because I like their games and everything, except for Fallout 4 and 76. Because screw that game. It was Elder Scrolls' turn, but either way,
Still not their turn.
You know how they is? They got turns. They got Elder Scrolls Online. They pumping out so much content for that game.
Yeah, new expansion this month.
New expansion.
But either way, this by like halfway through this, I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, now I'm in. Mm-hmm. I was always in, But
now I'm
now,
really in.
Before I was just kind of underwhelmed, and this took me to, I was whelmed by halfway through it, and by the end, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm in, totally in. It was going to be on Game Pass either way, so.
I was really impressed at them explaining like what you were, like all the different things that you could potentially be doing during the game, and not just, because I know they said before, like, and people say this sometimes, and I always have to kind of temper my expectations and stuff when they say, like, you don't have to do this, you could just do these other things, and then you get the game and it's like, yeah, you can for like, an hour or two, but like that runs out.
But
yeah, eventually you're gonna have to go to the main story.
like they're gonna make you do it, but it does seem like there's a lot more, like, go out here and make your adventure your adventure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like part Mass Effect, part No Man's Sky.
Yes. Yeah. Which and I was really worried about the planet exploration, because come on, bro. Like we've seen games tell you about you're gonna go to these different places, and then you get the game and it's like, well, technically they had a few diverse environments, but for the most part, like, it's not really that much difference in them.
Now, I think the exploration part might be disappointing to some folks, because it's
if you're thinking you're going to really get No Man's Sky.
Yeah, you can't go like, the whole moon. You can't go anywhere on the planet you want to go.
No, I think you just select the planet and it takes you to an area.
Well,
right?
there are certain zones that you go in. Now, each zone is huge,
but they are zones.
You can't just point to a mountain and go to it from space.
No.
Right, because I don't think you actually go into like the atmosphere of the planet. I think it's like a load screen, right?
No, you do. Because they showed it in.
I didn't see it at all in this.
They showed it. They had a thing after the last time they showed it, and it got pushed back the first time.
It might still be the same. It might not be.
They had a little thing that they showed where they showed how that part was going to work, and they were like, so no, you won't be able to go to everywhere on the planet, but there are certain zones that you can go to. So every planet's going to have the main place where you're like the big city or outpost or something like that. And then there are smaller outposts in just different areas you're able to go to and explore, where some places may just be side quests, some places may be where you go for main quest stuff, and then some places you just go to explore.
Now the combat started looking a lot better in these footage.
The combat looks way better now.
Yeah, like way
better.
Because to me, sometimes combat becomes a means to an end, like a means to more story or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like when you were talking about some of the other Bethesda games, like even Fallout, it's like, yeah, you're using guns, but eventually it's not really about the combat necessarily. It's about, I see you, vat you up real quick and go on about my business so I can finish this mission. But this seems like more so, when combat starts, it's action.
Yeah, and I mean, you can feel this deep walkthrough kind of, you can really feel the Elder Scrolls in it as well, with the sneaking and how that stuff works, and just being able
Still
to
got VATS in the spaceship battles. They snuck that in there.
More or less,
You saw it. You saw them sneak it in there. It's like, if you take this trait, then you get this. I mean, this skill, you get this ability. It's like, that look like VATS.
Basically, yeah. but there's like so much stuff other than just doing the main quest in it, which I pretty much knew they were going to do. But like seeing like everything, like I like how at one point they talk about when you pick your starting like path, kind of. So you pick kind of like Mass Effect 1, where you pick your background, and I Fallout did it too a little bit, I think, where you can pick like
Fallout did it. Fallout 3, they did the test.
Yeah,
and then you could listen to it, or you could pick your own thing.
Pick your own, yeah.
And then I know 4 did it to where you had like it didn't play as much of a factor.
Yeah, because by Elder Scrolls 5, there's like there wasn't a class thing at all.
No, you just
in the earlier games you could pick like a class to kind of give you an idea of where you're starting and still kind of do your own thing. But by the time Skyrim came out, it's like what you are whatever you make yourself at that point. But I like how the background that you pick from yourself changes things that happen in the game.
Yep.
They brought up how if your background is like one of the cults in the game,
you just saw
when you run by them further down the line at a part where you may end up having to fight the cult or at least try to find out a way to get through them or whatnot. They just let you pass because you're part of the cult.
exactly.
And that's cool. I like stuff like that. And I know Fallout did that.
Yeah, Fallout. You could have.
I'm trying to remember the exact implementation of it, but
I know there were certain dialogue. Fallout mainly did it with dialogue options, and it would be like if you had that affiliation or that background, you could say this particular line.
Yeah,
but usually it was like this is probably going to be the only time it comes up.
yeah. But they put a lot of the RPG stuff still in there too, which is good, because you got that stuff, and then
So I think they just show what Zach was saying, where it was like you're not gonna like fly.
Oh, like fly in like yourself. Oh no. Yeah, that's gonna be a cutscene.
Yeah, you just picking like you say, you picking the hubs of each planet and you go to it. But those areas, and that's what I thought you meant too.
You pick the landing zone.
Yeah.
It's not like No Man's Sky or
where you literally
Star Citizen, where you can kind of just fly in.
Where you actually fly in.
Where you're breaking the atmosphere.
Right.
No, you're not doing that in this game.
Yeah.
Because I think they even came out and said that like years ago that we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing that. From what I heard from folks that worked on this game and started to talk about it because they didn't work for them anymore, they were saying, I remember a bunch of them were like in 2021, they were saying there's no way that game is coming out next year. There's no way this is coming out because I worked on the game for three years, and when I left, the game wouldn't even boot, and they couldn't get the space stuff to work at all.
I mean, it looks fucking huge.
And I think that's exactly the issue. Is like they knew the kind of game they wanted to make, and it was one of those things. It was like, this is way harder than we thought it was going to be,
as it always is.
And you know what? This is if we get what they've shown us, this is the prime example of why I'm okay with games being delayed.
It's perfect reason why.
If it comes out, I know it's going to have some bugs because it's a
Bethesda. It's a Bethesda game. And they're still using and that was the biggest disappointment when they first showed the game. It's like they're still using the same engine. They haven't made a new engine yet.
Yeah, but we tweak it.
But if it comes out and it runs well, for the most part, yes, there's going to be bugs. There's always going to be bugs.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in games this huge.
Especially games this big. You almost got to expect it.
But a game this big that isn't linear, like they can't control it, basically. Like there's going to be some unknowns.
Yep.
Like, and I expect like day one, we'll probably have a little issues with get everybody jumping on the game at one time.
It's going to be bad. Like
Even
I'm going to try to preload
it's not a
this.
multiplayer game, you're still going to have some kind of issues.
Yeah, somebody's going to walk to that one corner of that one moon that they had no idea that that the ground didn't have correct, wasn't built correctly, and you fall through the moon, and somebody's going to complain, and they're going to be like, "We had no idea that was there because this game is huge." And we couldn't possibly
look at all the actual creatures
Something
and stuff.
I didn't know that I got from this is there's no intelligent alien life forms.
Yeah, it's basically just humans.
It's all humans.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Probably
that.
robots and stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh,
there
yeah,
is.
definitely.
Yeah, they've shown like the first scene was.
I assume at some point we're gonna, because they always do the tech, especially with Bethesda. At least with the Fallout games, it's gonna be something where there's gonna be a section where the robots went crazy, and you got to go in there and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sure there.
Oh
will be.
yeah, that story almost. Always comes up.
This takes place 300 years in the future.
Yep.
So it's not super far in the future.
We are the only explorative life.
Right, we're the only intelligent race out there, as we know. I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we see aliens at some point. In this game.
Or at least hints at them.
Right. Well, I mean, the whole premise is these artifacts shows that there's some kind of intelligent life.
So we're trying to figure out what's going on.
And, where'd they come from?
Yep, we'll unlock
where did they go?
You might end up going.
Which. Everything that they've shown us could be something that you could easily get to in the first hour, 2 hours in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
So it could be the whole game is about finding. I mean, there could be intelligent alien life forms in this game. They won't show it to us, obviously. They want to keep it as a secret.
Now let me ask you this question. Based on, I know this is going to be loaded, but based on what we saw from Microsoft, and particularly this game, do we feel like this is going to be one of those games that makes it to where Microsoft has their AAA games? Because I just feel like Forza doesn't do enough lifting for them as
it's just a niche genre, anyways.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be big, but no, this. I don't think it can get pushed back to next year.
Oh no, like they said September 6th, right?
Yeah,
yeah, September 6th.
Is
not, which is not that far away.
Nope.
Yeah, and Todd Howard, I watched an interview with him on something else, and he seemed
it's coming out.
No, September 6th is the date. So, but I mean, they seem pretty confident about 11/11/22 too. So
did they though?
No,
not really.
I mean,
all we saw was a trailer that had the date,
it was
and
a
then
teaser trailer that hid the date within it.
Yeah,
and then they came out with the trailer that put the date on there.
But then they weren't doing.
But then that's
we didn't get one of these though.
We didn't get a deep dive.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's when folks who used to work on the game was started coming out, and it's like, yeah, I don't think it's coming out then. When I worked there again, the game wouldn't boot. They couldn't get the spaceships to work. They couldn't get this to work. This
you got feet in this one.
Work.
You got to look down to see your feet.
I don't know. I hope so.
You can play it in third person and first person.
Oh, that's
and you
right,
can
yeah.
seamlessly change between the two.
Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily mean you'll be able to see your own feet if you look down. That's always the first thing I do in a first person game. If I look down and I don't see myself, garbage.
Terrible. Because it's a floating gun now.
More or less, yeah.
But I think if this game delivers on what it promises, I think it can sell consoles for sure.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I was thinking. Is like I don't think Forza will be able to sell consoles. Not even the Horizon games. Even as accessible.
You might be able to sell a console too with Forza because it is a very solid racing game, but you're only going to get racing people to buy it. And most people that are racing already do the Forza because the Gran Turismo's trash, especially after the last Gran Turismo with all the microtransactions.
Got nasty.
Yeah, the microtransaction thing. It's like, why do they keep stuff?
Why do you use Gran Turismo to try stuff out? Don't use Gran Turismo to try stuff out. You ain't put like Sony was like, we don't have in our first party games. We don't have one game with microtransactions.
That's the one they obviously chose to try it with.
And then tried to punish you for figuring out ways to stack credits in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I say Hellblade needs to come out in the spring
of next year.
Yeah,
I can see that.
It needs to come out March, April time.
It would be nice, but I get the feeling that game is going to be. I'll
put it like this: I bet not see no trailer for it at Summer Games 2024. Because I'm gonna be checked out all the way. Like, come on, man.
Or if it is, it better be coming out within a couple of weeks.
They better do the.
You know what we didn't see during their Microsoft press? We didn't see the Rare game.
Oh, snapped!
Yeah, the only thing. What I mean is Rare doing anything else?
They're making a game right
now.
They
had that.
Which game?
Remember when we looked at their website? They had
because there was that did remind me. There was one game I was expecting to see that there was no hide nor hair of was a Perfect Dark.
Yeah,
which Rare isn't doing. It's
Everwild.
a different company.
Everwild.
Oh, Everwild. Yeah.
They've been working. They showed that game off when they showed off the Series X back in 2019.
Yep,
that's true. And that's I don't know what's up with that game and what's all in it and what's all involved with it. But
I mean, that's
one of those games that I look at and I feel like it should have been done by now.
Yeah.
Maybe they wait to Gamescom.
So all right, go.
They're doing Sea of Thieves.
Go back real quick to the.
It's not like they're just working on that only.
Yeah.
They released the whole thing.
The Sea of Thieves got the Monkey Island thing going on.
Yeah.
With the they showed that trait about the Adora fan. The guy comes up.
Yeah.
To the top left of him, which I think is really cool, is you see he's got like stats, like traits, or not even trait, might be just like abilities. But it said like one looked like a stealth thing. It looked like somebody with a hood on. Another one said scavenger, and like because you're supposed to have like a crew in this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
Like you can hire crews for
that's gonna be pretty fun. They got me pretty
homesteads that you can build and all of that. So that's
and
cool.
apparently you can have relationships with them too.
Yeah. So it's kind of
you gonna remove the Adoring fan trait?
So yeah, I'm assuming
Gave him to the
that,
amounts of mice and men.
I'm assuming they all have traits because you can probably use them for different things.
Well, they also said you didn't have to pick a trait when you created your character. They said traits are totally optional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you just don't want, if I just want to play an RPG and don't want to be concerned about all that stuff, I'll build myself up as I go. Go for it. Cool.
Yeah,
which is fine.
None of the wacky modifiers.
Yeah.
So they got it. So that's not the same as the skill system. Which this is where I was like, okay, this is what I wanted to see. Like, what are we doing? How are we able to build? What are we able to build into?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this was pretty good.
There's different skill trees, kind of. Not really trees, but
different things that they specialize in.
Yeah.
So like I know me, I'm whatever is open and locks, I'm gonna get all of those.
I almost always go for starting off. I almost always go for whatever charm or charisma.
I gotta get my charisma.
Do that first because in most RPGs I'm some kind of like knight or paladin or some kind of hero, and I always like to be able to talk my way out of stuff.
Yeah, I want to be able to. I want to be able to, just put a schmooze them a little bit.
Yeah,
you don't want to fight me, my boy. You just want to let me pass.
That's always helpful.
You're right. I do want to just let you pass. I know Steven probably got excited at this part because he always plays Bethesda games as melee. So like with Fallout, he was running around with the power fist the entire game.
Oh, the power fist was cool,
punching heads off and stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they got the stealth.
Yeah,
stuff.
there we go. That's me right there.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Blind, and I'm gonna talk to you about it. Somebody got you? That's crazy. Let me help you find that.
Did you watch this all the way through? Because we don't have enough time to watch it all the way through.
Yeah, I did
the lady talking about building her ships in the shape of animals.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
no, I didn't see that part.
Yeah, she's like, well, I'm a little weird. I like to build all my ships and have them be like animals.
Animals, yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yep.
I mean, if the game lets you do it, though.
And I gotta tell you, I don't see myself really doing a lot with ships.
Because you bought all of them in Star Citizen.
Yeah,
more or less. Yeah, but
it's just like that other ship that I already own in that other game.
But I already see myself having like a relatively small ship. But homesteads, on the other hand.
Oh, is that what you gonna rock out in?
Oh, definitely. Because I don't remember what game it was, but it looks like it's gonna be kind of the same thing where you can set it up to where it can make money.
Oh yeah, they did talk about that.
You're not there, and then every now and then, let me just go get whatever in the safe here and back off to whatever the hell it is I'm doing.
So what you doing is you setting up traps.
More or less, yeah.
You trapping on different planets. Mm-hmm. You got the bandos in space.
Yeah, I can see myself doing that, but I can also see myself having a 1 or 2 man spaceship.
You gonna come back to the homestead, start asking your party members. So it's the first of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Coffer's looking a little light.
Yep. What's going on?
I had to take you out to that mountain where I took your boy at. Talk about the alfalfa for the rabbits. I like the idea of games like this because I just love hearing what everybody ends up doing with their characters and stuff. I love the idea of the open-ended.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that people are going to have different types of playthroughs.
Wildly different stories.
Yeah.
About. Yeah, I went to this planet and ended up getting captured by this weird group of folks and like 20 hours in, and now I'm one of them and doing all this. It's like, well, that's weird. I went to this other place and just fought this huge fleet battle. I was like, I didn't know that was in the game.
Yeah.
It's like you hear folks talk about it. It sounds like 2-3 completely different games. And that's always fun.
Yeah. And Bethesda's really good at that. So yeah. When they get it right, it's really good. And they never really have gotten it wrong in the past, 2 decades at least.
Not really.
It's just we start to expect and they start to build up expectations, and then it starts to get to a place where it can't possibly meet it. But I think
look at their last Elder Scrolls game. It's lasted over 10 years.
Yeah, Skyrim, yeah.
And the Elder Scrolls Online probably getting close to it. When did it come out? Like 2014 or something?
It's something like that, yeah.
I don't know.
14 or 15.
I can look it up.
Yeah.
I feel like they at least started talking about it in 14.
We're still waiting for that new iPhone release where they put the Skyrim on there.
I mean, it's like the full game?
Yeah. Like I'm waiting for that day to be like, yep, an iPhone.
April 4th, 2014.
Yeah, see, we're probably about to get on 10 years for that. So they've been successful at pretty much every launch, no matter the hiccups.
Yeah, next year is going to be their 10-year anniversary, and WoW's 20-year anniversary.
Ooh. Something crazy's got to happen with WoW, right?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
I know we're getting ready to get out of here, but just because you brought up Activision, that made me think of, they showed Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
What was that?
So I don't know if that was a trailer that they made before they canceled
I felt like it might be
the single player, because I'm like, I thought, now this looks like, so
It says co-op.
Well, me and Steven were talking about it, and he said that what they had originally promised was a comprehensive single player mode with
game,
skill trees and all of that. And it sounds like they're not going to do that. They're just going to do what they did
have
before,
been doing,
which is the
events,
the PvE events.
yeah, which is what it looks like it basically got converted into.
The other thing that they showed, which is like, no matter what, the partnership is going to happen in some form or fashion. Game Pass gets all of the new characters starting in like the first week in August.
But they don't own them.
Huh?
They don't own them.
They don't, but that's already in place.
They don't. But
so there's just a partnership. I mean, they still doing something with them.
But they still, I mean, that trailer was cool, but I was confused. I was like, so wait, is a single player game coming out or is it not? And then I saw where it said, yeah, it was going to be the co-op stuff, and I was like, okay, so they're. But sure, it felt. I mean, obviously, I think it was stuff that was supposed to be in the.
Some of the cutscenes, yeah,
that they moved over to this other mode, and I don't understand how they couldn't do all that stuff.
Well, the biggest issue was the skill trees, from the like trying to balance it all out for like the multiplayer PvE stuff. They said that it was so much work on top of the core of Overwatch, which was supposed to be the competitive side of it. So they were like, it was a nightmare.
Gundam right here.
That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's a Gundam. This is the thing I'm gonna be like, hey, let me look somebody's build up. I'm not sitting here all day doing this, but I want something nice.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe hopefully your crewmates and stuff can help you be better at those things too.
Oh, I'm sure it depends on
like blueprints and stuff. Yeah. Like what if you do a mission line for somebody on your team and they're like, I got this blueprint for this ship, and you get to do it. That'd be pretty cool.
So. One other thing real quick. Did you see what they did? They didn't allow anybody else to show any of the stuff while they were showing it.
Show what?
Like make any announcements or show video or anything of the games that they were showing during the press conference itself, during the showcase itself. There was a blackout on all of that stuff until it was over.
Like if you were streaming it?
Just anybody. If you were news, if you were they couldn't. They blacked out anybody from being allowed to show it or anything, so that nobody would do to them what they did during the PlayStation thing.
saying that these games are coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, because remember, in case you didn't know, every time the PlayStation event, when they announced a game that was also on Xbox also announced that game. They would tweet out the trailer for the game, just as it was being announced on theirs. But they wanted to make sure nobody did that to them, so they blacked everybody out during it. I just thought that was funny.
How do they do that? How do you black somebody out from Twitter?
I mean, folks could show it, but if you were like an actual press place, like an IGN or something like that, well, you just won't get our stuff anymore, and nobody's willing to.
Oh, I mean, but Sony could have done it.
Sony could have, but I mean, would they really care?
Probably not.
Yeah.
No.
So,
but
to be fair, the way that Sony presents their games, they make them look like they're all exclusives.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the point. Yeah.
Hey, I didn't say it was exclusive. You assumed it was exclusive.
Just the way that you presented it.
I presented it in a way to let you know that it was on PlayStation 5. Mm-hmm. You inferred that I meant
exactly
that it was exclusive. That is a you problem, not a Sony problem.
Exactly. We never said the word exclusive.
I shall take my leave. Play it here, PlayStation. So you say when you say play it here, you're saying like only here? Never said the word only.
I never said only. I never said first. I just said play.
Oh no, they will. Here. Oh no, if it's first, they will say.
No, yeah, that's exactly. If it was first, they would say it.
They would say it. Play it here first. You're like, for how long? Wouldn't you like to know? Because they definitely kept putting that on Ghostwire. Them Ghostwire trailers, it was play it here first. Now you know where it's coming first. It might be over there later, but right now, you gotta be here.
Yeah, so that was funny.
Before we go, anything in particular you're hoping to see from Ubisoft or Capcom?
Ubisoft, I want to see more of that Star Wars game and Splinter Cell. I know it doesn't exist, but I still want it.
Why would you say that? Because then now I got to think about it when I'm watching it. Don't do that.
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
It's not going to happen. But I would still love it.
How about you, Zach?
Splinter Cell.
Y'all so wrong.
Capcom.
I don't want to see Skull and Bones anymore. Get that shit out of my face.
Capcom, I think we're going to see Monster Hunter World 2.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that either.
That's nothing for me.
That's nothing for
Monster
me.
Hunter skins for Street Fighter.
Thing I would love to see from Capcom is a new Dragon.
Dragon's Dogma?
No.
You mispronounced Lost Planet.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, obviously, they're going to show more Exo Primal because that's what, July?
Yeah, it's July.
And that's game one day pass too.
Yeah.
But no,
That's game one day
they're,
pass.
they're RPG series from the SNES days.
Oh, you talking about Breath of Fire?
Breath of Fire.
Bro, let
Thank
that
you.
go. Stop talking about that. Because now I'm going to go get the PlayStation emulator and load up Breath of Fire 4 and be upset again.
That Monster Hunter RPG they came out with in 21, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If I always tell everybody, if I squint real hard, it
Almost Kansas?
It could be a Breath of Fire game. If I got the game and I wrote it, Breath of Fire on the cover.
Anyways, appreciate everybody hanging out with us this week. We'll let Nolan over there daydream.
Hey,
We'll come back
he
next
asked.
week to say that it wasn't there, and it's
know.
not going to be
I
there.
know it's not gonna
If
be
I can't
there.
get Onimusha, you better not get Breath of Fire.
Make sure you
want
like,
to
comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Leave reviews on where you get your podcasts. It really helps us out. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.